Using the request and response implicit objects, we can set cookie values on the client side and read them back again once they're set. Here's a Java server page that does just that. This page contains just one block of Java code. Now here at the top is the declaration of a Boolean value that's going to be used as a flag later to indicate whether or not the cookie was already set. This is a call to get cookies, the method that returns an array of string objects that contains the names of all the cookies that are set in this browser. Now, this page actually has access to all of the cookies and could actually change them all, but this loop scans through the array of cookie names looking for a match. If the cookie is found, a call is made to the getValue method of that cookie, and the value is made part of the displayed page, and the Boolean value found is then set to true to indicate that the cookie was indeed set. If it was not set, if this cookie was not defined inside this web browser, the fact is displayed as part of the page. No matter what happened, the cookie at the very bottom is set to a new value. This is done by creating a new cookie object that contains both the name of the cookie and the value of the cookie. And then the addCookie method of the response class is called to actually send the message installing the cookie in the browser. After this page has been viewed, whether or not the cookie was originally set, it is now set. Here's what the page looks like when it's viewed by a browser that doesn't have the cookie set. The HTML of the page includes only what is shown here. As you can see from looking at the source, there is nothing about getting or setting cookies in the page. That code was executed back on the server in the Java server page, but only the text that was written by the out object shows up in the page itself. That is, while the page was being constructed, there was already a conversation underway with the web browser about the cookies. Of course, once you've shown this page, the cookie has been set. To verify that, it's a simple matter of selecting Reload and getting the new page. This time, the cookie had already been set when the construction of the page was done, and that fact shows up. But there is a better way, or at least there's a different way. If you use the implicit session object, it will handle the cookie for you. Not only does it keep track of the individual sessions, but by using the session object, you can keep track of multiple sessions from the same page, or from the same group of pages. You can track data from one page to another by storing it inside the session object, and at the same time, the data will only be there for that one session. If several different people access the system at the same time, each logon session has its own session object. Here's a page that shows some of the characteristics of the session object. The session object is an instance of the class HTTP session. The isNew method returns true if this is a new session. That is, the object has been created but no page or whatever has been sent to the user. If the interactive session with the user is already underway, the return value then is false. If this is a new session, the animal is set to antelope. But if this is an ongoing session, the animal is set to moose. This page results in containing 3 lines of text. The first line contains the name of the animal. The second line displays the timestamp of the time of creation of the session object. Now, this value won't change for the life of the object. This is a count of the maximum number of seconds that the user can pause between requesting new pages. Once this time has expired, the object disappears and the session is over. Now, here's what the page looks like. Here is the page as it is displayed at the start of a new session. The creation time is a large number. It's the standard Java time. That's a long value. That's a count of the number of milliseconds since January the 1st, 1970. The interval is the number of seconds that the session object will persist. If the user waits more than this number of seconds before replying, the session will end and the session object will be erased. This is the default value. You can set it to longer or shorter, to anything you want. Now this page shows a new session. For an older session, the animal changes. Reloading the page will cause that change. You can go to other places and come back here, and you'll still be in the same session as long as you have not let this interval expire. The session object handles the cookie for you. That is, each session object uses its own cookie and verifies it whenever the user moves to a new page or reloads the same page. If it comes across a browser that refuses cookies, it uses a technique called URL rewriting to keep track of which session is which.